Whew. Welcome back, guys. Just getting the parking lot here, getting started on another check. Pulled up and just gonna start turning around. Dad's like, oh, look, and great big wolf run across the road right in front of us. So I hammered her and park before the truck was even stopped. Hopped in the sled, grabbed my gun there, and I went running up the road because there's like 100 feet of timber and it gets into a big slash. Thought I might see that wolf heading across that slash, but he was gone. Tracks there, looks like there was just the one, but man, he was big. Nice big gray wolf. So anyways, we'll get unloaded here and get our day started. Welcome back. Well, just following some moose tracks into the first trap here. Doesn't look like any snow since last weekend, which is a first for us this year. Pretty warm week, so we're gonna have to watch the sleds today. They're gonna be warming up probably. So I made my own lure this week, so brought some of that out, give it a try. But we're getting into this first trap here. First catch. Bait's gone. It's a good sign. Well, actually the bait's in the trap. So anyways, about minus 15 this morning. Was above zero right up till yesterday. Yesterday was pretty warm still too. So see if we can get this guy out of here. He's right around the neck, so we'll probably get him out of the trap, no problem. But anyways, we'll get this one cleared up and get moving. Getting to a spot here, we're gonna set up another new one. I just need a duplex nail. Yeah. Oh, a lot easier walking around this weekend. First time we've been trying these Belial traps, just got them here this week, so I'm not a fan of them so far, but I just don't like how the spring locks are. They're a little far back. This way they have that double coil, a little harder to get on, and then when you go to put them in the box, that little lock is kind of in the way. And a lot of our old trap boxes they don't fit in them. Their old LDLs are obviously a little bit smaller, so. But one thing I do like about them, made in Canada. So for us Canadians, we like that. So yeah, this lock, you kind of gotta wiggle it back. It's a little too tight. I think during off season I might just loosen that up a little bit. Other than that, they work pretty good. Seem pretty strong. Okay, I'll beat it up. Just gotta grab some lure and on to the next one. Gonna set up another trap. Here's the difference from last weekend. That's where I got stuck last weekend. I was just gonna pull in here, make a trail so we could get in there this weekend. Look at that. Flood's barely sinking 2 inches this weekend, so that's pretty good. We like that. So we're still setting up. You know, this road is the one we think they're gonna take all the trees out of it here by next winter. So a lot of guys, they're pulling their traps by now. We're still gonna trap here for a couple more weekends, so we figure we'll set up heavy in this road and try and get some fur out of here before all the timber's gone. So set up another 4 or 5 today in here. They'll be a little closer than we typically do, but we're just gonna have them in here for 3 weeks, and then we'll pull them out. We're just doing quick sets, and we're still catching majority male marten, so that's a good sign too. Usually around this time we start catching majority females, so that's when we pull up. But we're still catching lots of males, so that's good. Leave the breeding stock out here.
How was last week?
Okay, we're gonna get this one set up and get moving. That was the end of it. Took that branch to the eye. If I was using that little pruner, probably wouldn't have done that. up another one here right in the outside of a slash. Pretty nice conditions. Tootle across anywhere we want to go right now, so that's what we're gonna do. I see a swamp down in here. Go see if we can get down in there. We only got a couple more weekends, so I only got 2 more boxes today. Set up a few in here, so we got nothing in the ones we set up last weekend, but sometimes it takes a week or two to get things moving around, get those scents flowing. Anyways, we're gonna head across, get to the timber on the other side, and see what things look like. Couple more to go here. I started talking about these Belial traps and giving my opinion on them, but really only set like 4 or 5 of them, so just got to give it some time, I guess. Probably nothing wrong with them. They're just different, that's all. But I do know that I don't like the lock, the spring lock system, as much as the LDLs. But that's really all it is, I guess. Maybe they'll loosen up. We'll see. I do like how they're not, how they don't have the double bars. I find those double bars and those LDLs, they catch these triggers all the time and bend them all up. So that might be better on these ones. And you know, these locks, spring locks, I just have to twist them down. They're just a little stiff. So, yeah, nothing wrong with them, I guess. Just different. Gotta give them some time. But I do know that they don't fit in some of our old boxes, which is gonna kind of suck. But over time, those old boxes just sort of get worn out and not used anyway. So, anyways, one more to set up, and then we'll get out of this road. Man, beauty conditions today. Kind of wishing I wasn't pulling this skimmer so I could let this turbo breathe a little bit. Pretty nice. Okay, let's get going. This is the nicest weather we've had out here this year. Nicest going too. Snow's finally settled. Me and Sydney just cut across the slash here, took a shortcut, caught up to Dad. But the other guys, not sure what happened to them. They were following Dad's tracks, but Dad turned off, and I don't think they noticed that. I think they're just following the tracks right back to the truck. Might have to go and find them. Anyways, beauty day. 1 marten, 1 squirrel so far. Okay, let's go find these guys. Snap trap. Oozing in there. We just set this one up real quick this year. Haven't caught nothing in it yet, but we'll get her all lured up. Majority of our lure here is beaver caster and a bunch of scent glands out of the weasels and the marten and stuff. So majority of the smell that I can smell is the beaver caster. I'm sure those other critters, they can smell the other scents in there, but see how it works. It's the first blend for us, so see how it goes.
Grant, there's some bacon wrapped scallops there too.
Perfect.
Those look hotter than mine.
Yeah, how's yours look hotter than mine? What's going on?
Turbo cooker. Okay, we're actually having a snack a little early today because this turbo 4-stroke of mine heats things up pretty good, so I think our chicken would burn if we took it all the way to where we usually have our snacks. Okay, snack time. Well, Dad's old Mountain Ox is doing good today. Love the sound of those old triples. 2000, I think I bought that in 2002 or something. Way back in the day. Wrapping up our snack. Paul brought us some bacon wrapped scallops. You know, I sure enjoy our chicken nuggies, but I gotta admit, those scallops are pretty darn tasty. Might have to think about that for future trips. So, okay, gonna get things wrapped back up here and get back to trapping. So we're down this dead end road here that we just set up this year, and hasn't been very fruitful for us. Only got 1 or 2 marten. I think, you know, probably 90% of our fur we got this year has been down our old sets. Have been there for the last 10-15 years, and so we come in these areas thinking we're gonna do good because it hasn't been trapped in a few years. But you know, we're right across the road from a slash that they just logged last winter. So, you know, we come in here because the access, we can get in here now. But I think part of it is when they come in and they do that logging, it just disrupts things so bloody bad that the timber there, or the fur isn't even around here. The critters just, they're gone. Gotta be something. Got some buddies, they decided to set up in some areas that they hadn't been in years either, and they got the same results. Not much fur in that new timber they're in, so not sure what's going on, but anyways, like we say, catching fur is only part of the reason we're out here. Family time, exercise. Right on. Okay, sit back up. Hopefully it does its thing this time. Man, what a day. Stopped on the trail here. I know I've mentioned it before, but this hunk of road, I remember I was in grade 8, halfway up this little hill. You probably can't even tell it's a hill in the video, but halfway up this little hill in my old 300 Yamaha Enticer, and I was stuck. My dad's cousin comes around the corner there with his brand new 1988 Indy 400 SKS Snow King Special, and he just come flying up around me, and I remember just being oh wow, look at that machine. And it's so funny how time goes on, because you know, Indy 400s, that's the machines that people are buying for those kids that are in grade 8 and stuff nowadays. It's just nuts, the technology. But man, pretty happy with that machine. But anyways, lots of great memories out here. Okay, I better get caught up. Let's get moving. Getting into this one drop here, tight little spot. Lucky all this snow didn't fall down on our heads there last weekend, but oh yeah, here we go. Martin number 2 for the day. Bait's gone, so that's a good sign. Right on. Okay, get this guy all cleaned up and reset. Keep on trapping. Well, I lost that bait again. Usually I just throw it on top of the skimmer cover there and it usually sticks around, but such a nice day. I'm playing with the throttle a little too much, I guess. Sydney hopefully will grab it and I'll throw it under the cover this time. Because I can't help myself, I gotta play with the throttle. Try this again. Little lake in here that we were coming into last year, had some baits in, but this creek's been open pretty much the whole time. It still is kind of open, so I'm gonna go and shovel some snow in the holes just to get out there. I'm gonna guess it's slushy out there still, so I might just get out there, pin her across, get in the marshy stuff on the other side so I can pin her back around. But I just want to get some tracks down in here, maybe do some old stuff down in here later on again. So anyways, get the shovel out and see what we can do. Probably doesn't seem like much, but I got stuck in there pretty bad last year, so kind of got bad memories in there. Really all I'm doing is taking the high side here and busting it up so the sled don't want to tip in there. So, I don't know, looks kind of soft in there. I'm going to pop the skimmer off. Too bad. When we come out, I kind of busted out through the ice a little bit, so going in I'm not going to be able to slow down until I get right into the trees. See, there's been fresh moose tracks out here. That's a good sign. Lake feels good. Hopefully that means I can get the airplane out here now. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, let's get back across. Well, so many bird tracks, it's hard to tell what's been around here, but I did dump a deer carcass here last weekend. And I think we drug it across into the bush here somewhere. Sure looks like coyote tracks, but which is what was around here last time. Don't know where they are. Oh well. I was hoping that there would be a bunch of trails sort of between here and where I got the other main baits. But they dug it off in the bush here, so I'm gonna go check the other spot and see what that looks like. Look at that snare. Pretty much useless. Snow pulled it right down into the ground there. Worst part with that is it's not really even a track there anymore that they'll be traveling on. And now I gotta go in there with my boot and bust that up and make a commotion. So not ideal, but fix it up and I'll keep those reset. So this other bait over here, they haven't really been around it. It's kind of weird. We're 200 yards away from the other one, cleaned right up, and been a few birds on this one, that's it. Kind of had my hopes up seeing that wolf this morning, but that was about 15 kilometers away as the crow flies, so a little ways away from our set. But anyways, I'll fix this up and get moving. Okay. Pretty slow day, 2 martin. I think Dad got a weasel and a squirrel or something, but just baited up another one. You know, I throw my bait on top of this cover, but my last skimmer, I had a piece of UHMW covering up the front just to keep the snow from filling into the skimmer there. So what I think I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna make a little box 6 inches deep or something like that and just mount it on there just for bait. That way I don't have to get in and out of this cover all the time. Just have a quick little hinged lid there. Worked pretty good. I used to have a bag hanging on the side of the sled there. It worked pretty good too, but it seemed like it was always supposed to snow. So a hard little aluminum box or something there might work pretty good. Give that a go. Do I have more traps? Okay, I'll grab some traps. Okay. So Dad, he got a martin in the last trap he checked there, so that's 3 martin. So that's pretty good. Oh, here we go. Another catch here. Ooh. Another mink. Another tiny little guy. Huh. Cool, right on. Well, there's a creek right down there that once again isn't quite froze up, but kind of crazy this weather. One good thing though, around our wolf baits there, even though the wolves haven't been around it, the lakes look like I can get the airplanes into them there now, so that'll be cool. Hopefully we can get out and do some airplane trapping. Okay, get this one swapped out of here and got that guy kind of right by the nose, so I'll get him out of that trap no problem without wrecking any fur. So cool. Not sure what's going on. Got to about 5 traps here now without those guys catching up to me. I think I went past 1 trap back there by accident, but oh, I hear somebody now. Anyways, we got a snap trap. Usually when they're snapped, usually means the bait's gone. So go in here and get her fixed up. Into the cabin, have our lunch. Yep, no bait. Okay. Get her fixed up and keep going. Well, everybody's caught up again. Had to backtrack a little bit there. Buddy was off playing in the side, got stuck, so went back. He was out by the time I went back there, but he got out. That's good. We're all caught up now. Getting in on the cabin trail. Damn near right out of lure here. You know, I was talking about my lure earlier, and you know, it's mostly beaver caster, a bunch of the ass ends of martin, mink, and weasel to get their glands in there, and then there's a whole bunch of fresh raspberries and fresh mint. Blend it all up into Vaseline, and that's what it is. I think next time I'm gonna try putting some anise oil in there and get that little bit of licorice smell. That seems to carry pretty good too. So anyways, a few more traps to go. Go have lunch. I'm starving. Oh. Okay. Get her done. Oh. That's a big log. Big old birch. So we went around this spot last time. We had a problem with that spot not freezing up this year. We'll get through there now. But punched our way around here. And a little 2-foot birch tree come down. That heavy snow. Oh well, be no big deal here now. That creek's frozen, so we'll get through here, no problem. Only a couple more traps left. One more cubby. There's quite a bit of tracks around that cubby last time, so hopefully there's something. Okay, get moving. Man, I haven't been having much luck with my cubby sets and stuff this year. Lots of sign around this one. Another snare frozen in the ground. It's weird. Weird that snare hasn't caught anything because there's been lots of critters around this set. I had an old wolf carcass parked right there. And I threw a bunch of marten carcasses and stuff all around here so we could get them all wandering around. And they have been. Haven't been going in there. Gonna freshen that up. Let's talk about those little snares I put around the tree, because so many times these critters, they come and they walk around the sets and stuff, and I was hoping to catch something in that snare, but nothing yet. Okay, get that bait freshened up and a couple more traps and we're at the cabin. Don't see this very often, but the odd time. Traps tipped out of there, still set, but something frozen in there now. But, oh. Yeah, still set, but it tipped over. Okay, get a hammer and loosen that stuff up and get her fixed up. Made her to the cabin. Got a trap right here at the cabin. Nice big fat weasel. It went in there after a weasel carcass for bait. It's all picked up. We seen that little jaybird there picking on it. So it's kind of nice that that bait was stuck in the trap, so that jaybird was picking on that carcass instead of picking on our fur. Right on. Get this reset. A little bit of snow come off the roof, not a whole bunch, but anyways, we'll get this reset and get in and have our lunch. Well, go -8. Sandwiches are toasting. 3 more traps to check on the way back. I was thinking, see what time it is, but might go through those lakes there on the way back. Come out at the lake and we'll see how that goes. Only a couple more weekends left, so but we can finally get across the lakes okay without worrying about the slush. So we got a couple lakes we haven't been across this year that we go across and check up or set up a few traps, so we'll see. We got lots of traps out right now, so it takes a pretty good chunk of day to get things checked. But anyways, gonna have lunch, get moving. Well, still got open water. When I went across there, I thought it was pretty good, but after I went across, the other guys got stuck. Oh, Sydney just hung her ski up on that log. Okay, I'll go help her. There, nothing to that. Many hands make light work. Okay. Whew. tracks across the lake here. A little bit of playtime now. We're just touring around, burning up this beautiful day. Man, what a beautiful day. We're just out here playing now. Pretty hard to resist a day like today. 3 more traps to check on the way home, so we'll see what happens there. But it's pretty cool back in here. There's lake after lake after lake. Get through some little swampy areas and get into another lake. It's pretty cool. I think there's 52 lakes on our trap line or something, they say. When you fly over an airplane, you can tell. Last weekend when we were out here, me and Dad come out, we ended up doubling there. And then the next day I went for a fly and I was out over this area. In about an hour and a half, we saw over 40 moose from the airplane. So pretty cool. Right on. Okay, we're gonna play around a little bit, go check those traps and make our way out of here. I'm gonna give her an extra good look for that wolf there on the way out, but been thinking about that guy all day. Right on. Somebody call it. just out across from where we saw that right over there, seeing where his tracks were, and he was on a dead run, but I'm kind of shocked that I didn't see him heading across the slash, because I got out of that truck pretty darn quick this morning. But they can motor, especially in this snow. He's only sinking like 2-3 inches here, so you can tell his tracks. He was dead run. Looks like only one of them. That's all we saw. He was a big one. But I just wanted to come and check things out. But anyways, I think the others are right behind me here somewhere. We're gonna wrap her up. 3 marten, 1 mink, couple weasels. Pretty good day. A little bit of play day today. And seeing that wolf this morning is pretty cool. Got my blood pumping. I was like jamming the truck in park before it even stopped. Good thing we were on the ice there, because didn't wreck nothing. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Share with your friends if you like what you're seeing. Sure helps us out. Oh, there's the others there. Driving right by. They don't even